Open Quickie. The first test of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act was 2001's Universal v. Corley. Eric Corley publishes the magazine 2600 The Hackers Quarterly under the pseudonym Emmanuel Goldstein. In one issue, he published an article about a piece of software called DCSS, written by 15-year-old Norwegian Jan Johansen. It was part of an effort to write a DVD player for the Linux operating system. At the time, the only software DVD players ran on Windows. In order to play a DVD, you have to unscramble the DVD's content protection, which is what DCSS did. Corley published the source code and links to download the software. The movie studios went absolutely ape and sued Corley. Despite the Supreme Court's rejection of prior restraint, the court granted them a preliminary injunction barring the defendants from posting or even linking to the code. The judge was Louis A. Kaplan, who was previously an attorney at Paul Weiss and had represented Universal and other studios. Corley's counsel requested he recuse himself, but of course he didn't. They were absolutely freaking out about piracy, even though Corley had established that the objective was to make a DVD player and that the content has to be unscrambled to be played. Ordinarily, you have to rule that something isn't illegal if it has a substantial non-infringing use. But of course, Kaplan decided to ignore that. What that meant was that the only ones who could make a DVD player were ones who bought an expensive license from the DVD consortium, which of course an open source project couldn't afford to do. But it didn't matter if the only thing it's used for is for people to play their legally purchased DVDs. The very act of bypassing the protection violated the DMCA. On appeal, the Second Circuit dangerously ignored precedent and ruled against Corley's appeal on free speech grounds, saying the computer code was not a form of protected speech and was not protected by the First Amendment. They also rejected fair use, as the purpose was to allow people to legally play DVDs when they otherwise couldn't. But the Second Circuit said that, since they weren't talking about a particular copyrighted work, fair use didn't apply. They ruled, they are banned from tracking in a decryption code that enables unauthorized access to copyrighted materials. And one facet we're still dealing with today is the concept that linking, which is just a pointer to another place, is a form of contributory copyright infringement if the place you link to has infringing material. And it doesn't matter if it's done for journalistic or academic purposes. It had a chilling effect on the open source community as well. This was a direct threat to the principles of open source and to the ability of individuals to develop and distribute free and open source software. Of course, the whole time, DCSS was still perfectly accessible online. The DMCA is not about protecting artists. It's about giving corporations a tool for bullying, nothing more.